Hey team, we
Aloha,
are here.
Aloha. Aloha.
We are here at the Grand Wailea in Maui, and we are thinking about you guys this whole time. We're like, we need everybody here with us. So that is kind of what we want to talk to you about today, how you can get here, and just share a little bit of the things that we think you guys should know in order to be here next year. So Brittany and I were actually talking this morning because she just went to the spa yesterday, and it was amazing. And I've been crying all day today, so you guys just bear with me if I cry. But when we were silvers, we would talk about how we wanted to go to the spa. We were in a little one red light town, and that's where she became a sapphire and I became a diamond. But there was this little spa that we were like, oh, when we are diamonds or when we're jewels, we're going to go to that spa every month because we're going to have some money and we are going to get massages and facials because they're better than Botox, and we don't want that. So we just want facials and to be pampered at this little rinky-dink spa. I mean, thinking like a spa that should be a sister to the Dollar General kind of spa. But we were so excited, and we were going to go. And we never thought that this was going to be our life, and the kind of treatment that they give us, just being spoiled and being pampered and being loved on by our company, because they really do care about us and want the best for us. And to be able to be a mom of, we each have 5 kids, me and Brittany, and to be able to go and get a massage, it's just so nice to be able to go and do that. So you guys, dream big about where you can be in your life. Don't be afraid to want a facial. Nothing wrong with any of that. So don't be afraid to look at where you can be in your life. Go big in your business, and don't let anything hold you back. So when I met Brittany and when I met Tiffany and when I signed them up, y'all, they trusted me because I was confident and I was passionate and enthusiastic about where I was going. They had no idea, like, what I didn't know and what I did know, but what they knew was that I was confident in where I was headed. They knew my past. They didn't care that I was going to, whatever. I just didn't look like a jewel. I didn't have that success behind me, but they knew where I was headed because I talked about where I was going. I didn't talk about where I was right then and there, and I knew where I was headed. So you guys, when you're reaching out to people and you're sharing with them, don't look at your current situation. If you are broke like I was and I couldn't afford butter, if you want to be able to afford things, don't portray yourself or tell your people, about where you're at right now. They know that, but just point in the direction of where you're going, because that's where you're taking your team with you. They don't care about how little you know right now. We have the resources, we have the training pages, we have the tools to get them plugged into. All you have to do is confidently and passionately share. And you can be confident because you are in the right company at the right time, and we have the tools for you. We have paved the way. We laugh about the catalogs we had when all of us started. And the tools we have now, the training we have now, we have our training pages with all the videos that we have compiled over the last 5 years. You guys, we had to go find all that stuff ourselves. So you guys have the training and the tools that you need, and all of our experiences and the rest of the team's experiences combined. So be confident in what you have and watch those training videos and run with this opportunity. Like Brooke Hemingway said today, she was the top contest runner, but she said that you guys have an amazing opportunity and you have a responsibility to work right now. All of us, the year before we came to Maui, I was Ruby, I think, but a lot of them were silver, and they came to Maui the next year, obviously as an emerald or above. So you guys, if you're silver today, that means if you join today, you can do what all of these women did and be here next year with us. Every single one of you. And if you're Ruby, I'm going to tell you right now, there is no excuse except for a lack of work ethic and passion and enthusiasm. If you're not here next year, you can only blame yourself, but any one of you can do it. Seriously, if we can do it, you guys can do it too. So I'm going to let Sue share with you a little bit.
Absolutely, I agree. Well, hey everybody, I'm Sue Yant, Sapphire, and I've been in Plexus 3 years, and most of you kind of know my story, but I look back on the 3 years that I've had, and one thing that really grew every year for me was my belief. My belief in the products, my belief in the business model for sure that Plexus is in network marketing, and just all these people and belief in myself. So that's kind of what I wanted to touch on today is your belief, and where's that going to come from? You gotta find that within yourself. And a lot of what was said today was network marketing in the business that we have, the business model, and it's the best business model right now to be in. You guys, we're in the right place. There is so much potential, and so but I think that belief in yourself too has to come first and foremost, and not be afraid to share, and just even a little thing like you're believing when you send that message, when you send that cold message, it's so scary. Even just believing that that person's going to reply and you're going to have a positive outcome from that message. You know, that belief has to come too. So just find it within yourself. Take the products consistently, because that's going to build your belief, because you're going to feel even better every day, every year, and every month, every year you're on it. And just believe in network marketing, and don't feel embarrassed about it. Have that belief. Know that we are in, good grief, the most solid company. Look at this.
Yes.
It's amazing. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Work on your belief, and you guys can all be here. You can all do this. Who's next?
I'll go. I wanted to touch on a little bit of what Fallon mentioned about, and I'm Tiffany Wilson, Sapphire Ambassador, sorry. I'm so blue, I just go. Fallon talked a lot about confidence, and Sue talked about belief. And so in the beginning of my business, I had tried, y'all, like several other MLMs before. I was even doing other MLMs at the time that I met Fallon. And so, I was pretty like, oh, this isn't going to work, like none of these things really work type thing, but her confidence is what kind of carried me through. But then as I went on in my business, I started to see that, there were also excuses as to why my business wasn't going to work. And, my very first excuse was, like I just said, well, network marketing doesn't work. These don't really work. You can't really do this. I've tried this before. I don't. And a lot of it, again, was belief in myself. And so, carrying on through my business, I went through the first several months, and I was just kind of in, and many of you know my story. I had actually had a sister pass away that year to breast cancer about 6 months after I started sharing, and that was kind of a point in my business where I was still new. Do I want to use this as an excuse? Of course, there was grieving, but then there was also, you guys, an opportunity to help others and push past that and use that, that sadness and that grief to change somebody else's life, so somebody else didn't have to suffer with their health problems, and so that they could find victories, find financial freedom. And so that was, I let that drive me forward in my business. And even carrying on, it's like, whenever you're, we don't maybe want to go to the gym, but, we get up in the day and we're after a goal. So you make it a habit, you make it a routine. It's like brushing your teeth, getting ready for bed at night, right? You do those things because they become a habit. And so, and then again, push forward in my business. As many of you know, it was a year or two into my business when my 8-month-old son was diagnosed with cancer. And talk about shaken. That was another point in my business where, at that point, I was a Sapphire already. And at that point, I'm like, what do I do next? Do I push forward past this? And again, I remembered back to my sister. No, this is an opportunity for me. Like, we heard today, it's an opportunity to use what God has given you for something greater, a greater purpose. So now I'm able to reach out to other cancer moms and, other communities of people and share my passion for products that work, for something that has brought us financial freedom. We didn't have to worry and stress about, flying up out of state, hundreds of miles to get our son the best treatment in Philadelphia, because we had the income from Plexus to help us. And that was a big blessing. But again, it was a time when I could have used it as an excuse, but I chose to push forward and beat those excuses. And it really is a mindset thing, is pushing past that and believing that, you can do this, you got this, you really have what it takes. Daily affirmations, all of that is so, so important. And there's just been, there's so many times in our businesses where we might feel defeated, or we might feel like we're not doing what we should be doing. But y'all, really, when it boils down to it, a lot of it is, looking at your time management, looking at your action. Are you really doing the necessary action to push forward into, the momentum and the next phase in your business? So definitely, y'all, you just got to wake up with a purpose and throw your excuses out the window. And I mean, now I'm like, okay, no more excuses. We are doing this, developing your why again and just going forward, full speed into your dreams, your goals, things you can do with your family, the lives that you can change. That's still one of the biggest things I think about in my business, having, the servant leadership and the love for others and all of that. So drop the excuses.
And taking the action before you necessarily feel like it. Being confident to people you're reaching out to before you feel like you're ready. Sending the message, even if you don't feel ready, but then having that positive mindset of, even if you're scared of the response, throwing that out there like, this person's going to want Plexus, because why wouldn't they? Of course they're going to want the business. Having that mindset as you're sending the message or as you're talking to people makes a huge difference.
I'll go next because I feel like I can figure with that. So, I'm Jamie Haskins, Sapphire Ambassador too, and you guys, when I started out, I love that people can start out in different ways, and everyone's different personalities, everything. And when I started out, I was not the person that was confident in myself. I didn't necessarily think this was going to be something huge. I just simply thought, oh, it'd be cool to get my products paid for. But where Fallon started out and what she talked about in terms of her knowing and believing, and just, she wasn't there yet, but she knew she was going there. I didn't necessarily have that, but I had my upline, my friends telling me that they were going to the top and that I could go with. So they had that confidence and belief in me. So having that and knowing from the beginning, you guys, believe that this is possible and that you can go to the top because you can, and knowing that you are enough. It doesn't matter where you come from, where you're at right now, doing what they were just talking about, having those action steps and just doing it and going. And whether you have that belief now and you just want to go no matter where you're at, or you got to partner with your upline or with your friend to be like, hey, borrow that belief or just go, because I'm telling you now, right now, and we're all telling you that you can do this and that you can be there, and have that belief because we believe in you. So do that and run with it. And it wasn't necessarily, having all the right steps. I didn't have the confidence necessarily. I didn't have the huge network. I never did network marketing before. I didn't know what I was doing. All I knew is I had some people that I was with that were already doing it. So I was just going to follow what they did. So I duplicated, and I was like, okay, what if you're going to go to the top and you know what it takes to get to the top, because we have diamond uplines above us, then that must be their thing to do, and I'll just do it. Was it easy? No. Was I not afraid? No. I was terrified, but I did it. So just taking those action steps and following what the successful people are doing, whether it's easy, whether you know exactly what you're doing, whether you do it right or not, because you learn and we grow. We did not send out perfect messages from day one. We don't always send out the right messages now, maybe. We don't do everything perfectly with our first video or trying to train someone underneath us. We all make those mistakes. We all learn and we grow, and that's how we get better. And that's how we train and help other people too. So believe in yourself. You guys can be here. You can do this and have the confidence and just go and, use other people, use your upline, because we're here for you and we believe in you.
Hey everybody, I'm Sally. This is my second year in Hawaii. And all I can think about while I'm here is how much I want my team and all of you to experience this with us. Because it's just incredible to be here with your friends, to be in this setting, to see the beauty that God has here. It's just incredible. And so how I got here was squashing some really big fears. And fear is I think something that everybody struggles with. It could be fear of, anything, what people think of you, fear of speaking in front of people, whatever it is. And one of mine was what people thought of me. I had a really big problem with that. Early on, when I started sharing Plexus, I had people in my community just saying not very nice things, putting things on Facebook about our company and stuff like that. And it was really hard. It was really hard for me because I thought they were kind of my friends. And it was really hard to kind of overcome that and feel like, a doubt comes, right? You feel like, are you doing the right thing? But I kept going because I did believe, and my upline helped me with that, and my sidelines helped me with that belief. So I kept going, and I didn't let it stop me. And so I'm here, and I feel like, I think back, what if I would have stopped when those objections or those people came in and said, you're doing that, or said, terrible things about it, whatever. What if I would have let that stop me? I would not be here today. My family wouldn't be blessed like it is today. Our, financial situation would not be what it is today. If I would have let that fear of what people thought of me stop me from doing this. So we all have fears, and I think a big one is what people think. And so you cannot let their opinions control your life. Don't become scared of what people are saying about you or whatever. This is the path God has you on for a reason, and you can be here with us. If you squash those fears, get over those fears, and just keep going. Just take action, go to work, talk to your sponsor or whatever if that's going on. But I want you guys to realize how amazing it is, and how it's not easy. It's hard work, but if you think about it, it's really easy just to put those thoughts out of your head and just go forward. So
It's just a choice.
it is a choice.
It's so simple.
Yes.
We make it complicated, but
Yes.
who of us have fears still?
Oh yeah,
We all do,
Yes.
y'all. You guys have fears. We still have fears.
Yeah.
Some of us still have the same fears we've been working through, but we just choose to put it to the back of our mind and go forward because
just go.
the
Yeah.
life you're being controlled by your fear of what people think, any fear, anything you're afraid of, even the fear of success or the fear that you can't be a leader, whatever it is, don't let that hold you back because you're not going to live the life you want unless you get past that fear. So
That's right.
do it
Yeah.
scared.
Yes.
It's so true.
God doesn't want us to live in fear. It's not what He created us for.
Yeah. And those fears and failures are really, they become a part of who you are, your story,
story,
why, why
Absolutely.
others, yeah.
Makes you stronger.
Yep, for sure. Who we got now? Chris.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey guys, Chris here. I'm going to talk about time because when I first started, I was teaching 4 days a week. And a lot of you know my story, but taught 4 days a week. And you guys know I have 3 kids, and we're involved in church, and just like a lot of families, like you have a job or you have a busy home life or whatever. And so when I started, my dear friend Sally told me, this is what everybody's talking about here, the belief. So I got that belief because I believe my friend. And I believe that the products, I watched the products help her and the testimonies. So I believed in all of that. And I had done network marketing before, so I didn't have the fear of putting things out there. But time was something that I struggled with at first. So when I started sharing, because I had the belief and I knew that this was an opportunity for us to get out of a financial struggle, I was like, okay, I'm going to start sharing. Well, time can get away from you very quickly, and it can be really hard to find the time, and so there were things that I had to give up, and I'm thankful for a supportive husband and supportive family, but there were nights that he put the kids to bed, and I didn't, and sometimes my kids didn't always like that, but there was times like, you know what, tonight Mom needs to get some stuff done, whether it was team call, to be on for a team call, or book club, or I need to get some messages out because I have some waiting for me in my inbox and I need to message these people because I have goals. And so I fitted into the nooks and crannies of my day. I sent messages. I put posts out at lunch break when I was switching buildings. I was driving from one building to the next, and I would put a post up and I'd answer a couple messages, and I made sure that I did my teaching job well. But then when that was done, I would take out or I'd get all my stuff together and I would get my work done. And the more I started to conquer that time issue, the more success I started to see. You have to keep working through that time. And, it's a constant thing, though. There's stuff that is always battling for our time. And obviously you have to prioritize things, and there's obviously things where my family does need to come first and other things happen, and that's okay. But if you shut down because of your time that you think that you don't have for this, but then you get frustrated because you're not going anywhere or nothing's happening, well, that's why, because you're not spending the time. And it can be any amount of time that you think. But schedule your time. Do a half an hour a day. If you could do a half an hour a day, we all have at least a half an hour a day. Put away stop watching TV. I stopped watching TV. I don't sit at the TV. I don't watch that. I don't really read books very much anymore unless they're professional development books or business books that we read for book club. I don't do that anymore. I spend time, and it's fun because I get to talk to my friends, and I'm meeting new people, and I'm helping people's lives change. And I think there was times when I was struggling with that time that I remember being frustrated, and I remember stopping myself and then refocusing and thinking, wait, all these people are waiting for me, whether it's my customers that need me because they need me to help them with the products, or if it's my team because they are watching me, they are seeing what I'm doing, or they need my help with customers, or they need some leadership and they need me to answer some questions or help them move forward with their businesses. So time can be a huge thing, and that is a huge excuse that people use, but everybody has the time for this, and if you can focus, if you can schedule it, then you can get it done, and that's what's really important. And now I'm not teaching anymore, and you guys, it still can be one of those things that can get a hold of me, but I have to sit down and I have to focus and I have to get my stuff done. And there's some days that are better than others. I'm human, but at the same time, I know that I do have time and that this is my focus and I have goals. And if I don't get my work done, then I'm not going to reach my goals. Being here is amazing. And the second year, I just can't even, this is, Rosencrantz don't vacation in Maui, you guys. It just doesn't happen. But I'm thankful for my team that works hard, and I'm thankful for the time that I put into this. That commitment is huge. And so keep working and find that time and commit it, and you will have success.
Yes, you guys, there's no excuse for time. We've had women go through pregnancies, some of us multiple pregnancies back there, and we have military wives, we have teachers, we have stay-at-home moms. I'm a single mom. We have so many different backgrounds who are all successful in this. So don't tell me you don't have time because you have a job or because your husband's gone or because you have a new baby, because we have all conquered all of those excuses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brittany. Hey y'all, I'm Brittany Howard. I'm a Sapphire ambassador. And one of my favorite parts of being in Hawaii with all of the most successful leaders in Plexus is that they all have a story. And I love to hear everybody's stories because we all struggle with something. We all have some kind of obstacle or challenge that we've had to overcome or are still overcoming in our businesses. And there is no such thing as a success story without a struggle. And so if you're struggling with something in your business, just know that that's normal, but you don't have to stay there. And we were talking about at lunch today. We were sitting at the premier restaurant on this island. It's called Mama's Fish House. We hope that all of you get to come with us to it next year because it's amazing. And it is something that none of us would have been able to afford before Plexus. Like when we got our bills, we were just like, wow, we're so blessed. We're really blessed to be able to do this because everybody who comes into this resort who is not a Plexus ambassador, they're all like 60 years and above. And these people have worked their entire lives and saved and saved and saved to be able to afford to do what we are doing right now. In our 20s, 30s, 40s, we're very young and we're getting to live just the life of our dreams while we are still super young and our kids can even enjoy it with us. It is such a blessing. So don't take that for granted and take the bull by the horns and run with this opportunity because the opportunity is there for anybody who's willing to run with it. So when I was at the spa last night, which is something that I was never able to do before Plexus, and honestly, I'd never even thought about it. when Fallon said that when we first started, we were talking about going to the spa that was similar to a Dollar General, that was because we were out going to businesses, door to door, talking to business owners and people who worked at various businesses local to us, just sharing with them about Plexus. And we just happened to stop at that spa. And that was the first time I had ever thought to myself, oh, I would like to go to a spa. Because as a mom of 5 who homeschools and we were a one-income family, that just wasn't an option. I just thought that was something special people do. And that wasn't me. But my eyes were open to the opportunity. And so last night I was sitting in a spa that's one of the top 10 spas in the entire United States. Okay? Very, very fancy spa. And before you have your treatment, you go an hour early to do what they call hydrotherapy, which is like all these different pools of water that have different minerals and salts and all this fancy stuff that I really have no idea about. But you're alone. And so for an hour, I soaked in all these different pools, and everywhere I looked, I just saw just the most gorgeous scenery and just surrounded by luxury. And all I could think to myself in the silence of my thoughts was, how did I get here? Like, how did I even do this? How did I end up in this place right now? Because I never would have imagined that. And I think what it boils down to, guys, is first of all, hard work. Every single one of us, we work. This did not come easy for any of us. We work our heinies off, okay? So if you want this, I think it's a matter of how hungry are you? Because you gotta be hungry for it. If you're not hungry for this, then you're gonna give up way too easily. It takes grit, it takes determination, and it takes hunger. And nobody can give that. If you are sitting there waiting for your upline to inspire you or anything else, if you're sitting there waiting on some kind of outside inspiration, you're going to be waiting a long time because it has to come from within. How hungry are you to change your life? That's what it boils down to. And then it doesn't stop there because hard work is not enough. How many people do you know that work really, really hard and they're still broke? Because hard work alone does not get you there. You have to be just as willing to work on yourself as you are to work on your business. So personal development. When Fallon said to me, you want to go Emerald, you want to be in Hawaii, go develop leaders. I didn't sit there and say to myself, well, I don't know how to do that. What do I do? I went and figured it out. If she said read a book, I read the book. If she said watch this video, I watched the video. It boils down to learning. You can't add to others what you're not adding to yourself. So pour into yourself first and be willing to learn. When I'm talking to someone on the phone about who's considering this opportunity, I'm looking for 2 things. Are you willing to work and are you willing to learn? Because if you can do those 2 things, then you can be as successful in this business as you want to be. So
That's my husband.
somebody
I
say
got
a second. Okay, so that's what we wanted to share with you tonight. Anybody can do this. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter where you came from, because I have a history. My struggle was belief because of my history, but it matters where you're going. So embrace whatever struggle that you're going through right now, because whatever it is, that's going to be your story that inspires people later. So we all have struggles. Push through those. Put the work in, and we'll see you in Maui next year.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye.